So backing up when you're dealing with ransom as a defensive maneuver for ransomware is always a very good move when you're talking about end user systems and even server systems. But backups themselves are not always the answer. You have to be careful that during the course of doing backups, you may actually back up the ransomware tools or the triggering activity, whether it was an email or something of that nature, at the same time. Before you do restore a backup, you need to look at the integrity of the backup and appreciate that, are you actually going to reinfect yourself by the nature of using the backup? So if the adversary was successful once, what's going to make them not capable of doing that again? So often what I suggest in many environments, especially for end user scenarios where ransomware is a potential issue, is work on backing up data files and not system files whenever possible, and then image the device. Don't even try and cleanse the endpoint. Image the endpoint and then restore only the data files. When doing so, take clear and understanding of what could have happened, especially in the email. Because a lot of ransom attacks come out of phishing attacks where they're attachments to emails. So make sure we look through and find that source. Also recognize that good adversaries will actually sit dormant in backups for more than 90 days. I call this the 91-day effect, the 91-day attack. Because the principle being in many IT situations is that 90 days is the typical backup rotation. So if the adversary is monitoring and sees that their code still exists in your systems on the 91st day, they have a fairly reasonable point of view that this is propagated to all of your backups. Now when they go in to exercise their attack, they can look at this and saying the backup restoration process may not be an effective control about them getting access again. Big part of ransomware scenarios, if you decide to make payment as one of your measures, if you decide to take that action, the assumption is I'm done. The assumption is once I pay, I'll get the key, I'll be able to decrypt, I'll be able to move on from this. The question has to be at the time, well, how'd they get in the first place? So you have to worry about re-victimization, because the choice to pay is a very emotional and very important decision that has many ramifications. So getting that key back is one important stage, but you have to appreciate how they got there in the first place and make sure you have appropriate controls, defenses, and detection capabilities to defend against that in the future. Otherwise, it could be a Groundhog Day effect. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. As soon as you pay, they come back and they ask again and again, because they know that you're willing to pay at that point. And at the point you're willing to pay, the sensitivity of the adversary community increases dramatically, and they can sell that to other adversaries to say, I was able to use this tool set against this group in this way, and you can pay me for the instructions on how to do so. So I've gotten monetized from being the payment, as well as selling it to other adversaries saying, why don't you use them, because they will probably pay.